All right, and we're live. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a November 1st edition of 27 Outs. I, of course, am Ivan alongside Stefan. Now, let me ask you guys, where else? And I know there's very few places, so let me not sit here and act like 27 Outs is the only place. However, I know we are one of the very few places right now where you could find baseball coverage in November. What you think about that?
I mean, listen, I think it's beautiful. I think that's what makes our channel unique is that we're going to go for literally 360 some odd days a year. Now, you're going to get content.
Right.
We may not be here during, every single day of the off season, but we're going to be here most days. So, if something big happens in the winter, we're here. You could either find us on the Instagram or you can find us right here on the YouTube.
That's right.
More often than not, we will probably be. We're gonna split time between both. I would say we'll split time between both. But man, we got to get right into this because there's a few things that I want to get into today. One, we didn't have a real post game. I did like a brief post game, but we didn't get your thoughts on the ending of the series. We didn't get everybody's feelings. So I'm gonna let you do that now. But I
Yeah.
will also say this. Um, this season flew by, but it flew by for a bunch of fun reasons. I'm glad I was able to experience this season. The better than
Together.
listen,
Together.
yeah, I think that's what makes it fun is that we did
Not
this
only
shit
just
together.
us, but I also do want to say with you guys too. We have a few people here already watching us. Shout out to you guys.
Oh, for sure.
Um, but Stefan and I, and we'll talk more about this in a separate video in the near future. But
Hmm.
Stefan and I, we have, done something like this before. Not like this exactly, but in terms of covering the season and just, staying up to date together. We've been around this block before, but the special part about this season was not only, of course, launching 27 outs, but also having you guys, telling us how you guys feel and just in general having people watch us because that's legit like what we're doing right now, so we
It's
really
crazy.
appreciate that.
Yeah, man, we're gonna get into it. I have some thoughts at the end of the video. I know you have some thoughts as well. So, um, let's get into this thing, man. I will say this. I think this season, a microcosm of this season, is what we saw throughout these playoffs and throughout that World Series. To me, you had the two best teams in baseball squaring off. Now,
Right.
one was more superior than the other. We can say that now with certitude and certainty. But let me get your thoughts not only on game five, but on the World Series as a whole. And
Right.
I, I have a radical idea, but I wanted you to get your thoughts off, and then we're going to get into this radical idea.
Right. So in terms of what the World Series itself gave to us, um, I have to be honest. I'm gonna start like this. I wanted more. I said it in previous videos, and I still stand by that, even though it, of course, is obviously done and over with now. Congrats to the Dodgers on winning this season. But
Yes.
my prediction was Yankees in seven, and the fact that the series did not even go to a game six, it bothers me a little bit, because I've made it very clear on the channel here that I'm a Yankee fan, right? But I'm one of those Yankee fans who has no problem with putting my fandom aside. And that's what I'm doing right now by sharing, what I'm telling you guys right now as I speak. And the Dodgers, they did the damn thing. I certainly did not think that they would end up winning game one, especially for those
Mhm.
of you who are watching. You know exactly what I mean by that.
Yeah.
Games two and three, it is what it is, close games as well. But of course, they ended up coming out on top again. Game four, I think that was, pretty much self-explanatory, especially if you recall the score and the amount of runs that the Yankees did win that game by. And then last but not least, right, we have the infamous, I think we can say, game five. I think this is gonna be a memorable one. Not in a good way, but in a however you want to call it, especially if you're a Yankee fan, this isn't one of those games where we're gonna be bragging about for years to come. But it's certainly going to be one of those where we'll be asking ourselves, what if? What if we won a game 1? What if we won a game 5? What if the series did go to a game 6 or possibly game 7? And, one thing I do want to say, and I noticed this as well, in that game 5, and a lot of people were saying this too. Stefan, you were one of those guys who kept reminding everyone, including myself, like, yo, it's only a matter of time until Aaron Judge gets it going, and he did exactly that. I think he got on base 4 times. He had the home run. He had the double. I think he had 2 walks. He had that big catch where he crashed into the wall. That was scary, but glad that he was still good. Right. And then we have the 5th inning. I guess we could start there.
Here's what I'll say, right? All that's all well and good, but I have 2 takeaways. It don't mean a damn thing if you don't catch a ball that's right in front of your face. Like, the rest of the game shouldn't have happened the way it happened, because to me, the game really took off from the top of the 5th inning on.
From that point on, yeah.
I think, okay, I'm going to be a little harsh.
Go ahead.
I'm going to be a little harsh and saying
I am too. I have more to say, so you could start it off.
I think if you're waking up yesterday morning and there's not a hint of you that says this team deserved to lose, you're just a blind Yankee fan that's loyal to the uniform, and I get it. Respect to you if you feel that way. But this guy is my witness, because I'm gonna tell you guys the truth. As soon as that 5th inning was over, what's the first thing I texted you? They deserve to lose, and I wanted to end tonight.
That's right.
I'm unabashed in saying, yo, you don't deserve to win if you fought away a 5-run lead when your stars were stars. Your captain finally said, oh, I'm up from the stupor. Let's play now. Giancarlo did what Giancarlo always does. And you find a way to lose that baseball game.
And by the way, Garrett Cole pitched a hell of a game too.
And you know what? That's gonna get lost in trend. That's gonna get lost in the fact that he didn't run to first base.
Yeah.
But let's just put this in perspective. All right, because that can be argued so many and parceled so many different ways. How many pitchers get out of that 5th inning and come back and give you 2 more innings where they shut it down and they give you a chance to win the game?
Right.
That's impressive stuff. Like, say what you want about him not covering first, and boy, oh boy, was that a gaffe. But here's what I will tell you. That's a microcosm of the Yankee season. That is a microcosm of who they've been for this entire season.
I'm glad you said that, Stephen, because earlier today I was watching this interview that was of Susan Waldman, and she was saying that it didn't surprise her that the Yankees finally had that moment where everything just went wrong. But the surprise in that was the fact that it all happened in 1 inning. And that's an issue because the amount of errors that the Yankees committed in that game 5, just for a game, that in itself is a big problem. But for it to all literally come crashing down, I mean, if there's a better way to put it, please leave a comment right now.
Please, yes.
But if
sure.
I mean, it literally just, I don't know what to say.
So can I put it to you like this, bro? And we could bat this back and forth because I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. It almost feels like their undisciplined ways finally bit them in the ass. You're playing fast and loose. It's like a kid that got to take a final in college. This final's been coming up for fucking 3 weeks. The professor's been writing it on the board every day. You got a final. You got a final. You got a final. Don't fail this final, because if you fail the final, you fail the class. Right. You got a final. She's throwing it at you. She's telling you, yo, if you don't pass this final, you're failing the class. And the night before, you try to cram in like 10 hours of studying into a 5-hour night, and you wonder, why am I waking up so damn tired? Well, because you fell asleep with your head in your book. The laptop is dead. You don't know how you're going to get it to charge. You're like, oh my God, what the hell? How do we get here? And then the 5th inning comes. You know what the 5th inning is? The 5th inning is you sitting at the exam table going, I don't have a shot in any type of reality of passing this exam.
It's like forgetting all of the material.
And the thing that frustrates me is all this stuff was mental errors. There's nothing physical that the Yankees did wrong. All this stuff is, yo, look a ball into your glove. cover first base, right? To me, the inning that set this up, I mean, the thing that set this up was the Volpe not turning the double play on Will Smith.
Right.
If you turn the double play on Will Smith, the bases are not loaded.
Yeah.
You get out of it, there's 2 outs, and we're sitting here going, well, maybe if he turns the double play, we're playing in Los Angeles tonight. But I just want to point some things out. One, look at the series in its totality. You know the Yankees have more home runs. The Yankees scored, I think the Yankees scored one more run than the Dodgers did. By the tail of the tape, the Yankees won the series. You know when the Yankees lost the series? Where they've been losing it all year. Dumbing out on the bases, dumbing out on the field, not taking the extra 90 feet series, right? And I don't care how talented you are. The reason why the Dodgers are champions and you're not is because they value the game. It's like when somebody says, yo, why? It's like us when we do this show, right? We don't never come on here and we're not prepared. We always come on here and we're ready to give you the facts because we sit here and we say, you know what? I got to prepare for this show because this show is my way of performing.
Right.
Right? So when you commit the most errors, mental errors, when you have the most outs on the bases, when you have the most shoddy outfield defense in baseball, which the Dodgers clearly scouted because Joe Sherman wrote an article in the Post detailing
I
this
heard
very
something
thing
earlier today about like this scouting report that was damn near perfect for the Dodgers because it obviously worked.
So, but here's the thing, right? If you know that that's true, it's one of those things where don't you feel like you got to get away from the analytics a little bit and just get back to playing grassroots baseball?
If you're the Yankees, yes.
Because
the analytics are not going to do a damn thing for Aaron Judge to catch that fly ball. The analytics are not going to do a damn thing for Volpe to be able to go to second rather than third. And last but not least, you know, the analytics are also not going to be there to help Garrett Cole cover first.
That's it. And here's the thing. And I said this to you when we were texting. And I'm going to say it now. If you got the 2 biggest strikeouts of your life, aren't you hauling ass to first base?
That's right.
I'm sorry, I'm in a wheelchair, so I don't know what it's like to play baseball on a professional level. But if it's me and I know I'm 1 out away from getting out of a jam. By the way, if he gets out of that jam, guess what? We're probably getting ready for a live stream right now because Game 6 is on both of our screens. Right. And me and you are going, yo, can Carlos Rodon pitch us to a Game 7? It's simple things like that where you sit there and wonder, you know what? Is it even worth it? Was it even worth it for them to make this trip to the World Series? I started to wonder. I was like, you know what? Maybe if it's better if the Guardians were here. Maybe it was better if the Orioles were here. Maybe it's better if Houston was here.
Because they're better at doing those things that the Yankees just weren't good at.
Right. And here's the thing. You can't tell me by the numbers that the Yankees don't belong on the field with the Dodgers. Because they do. They belong on the field. They're talented enough to be on the same field with the Dodgers. But here's what I will tell you. I had time to reflect. And I'm going to give you the floor in just 2 seconds. Aaron Boone should be out of a job today. I didn't feel like that 24 hours ago. I didn't even feel like that 48 hours ago. But when you see the mental mistake that this team continued to make and not adjusting to how you pitch to Freddie Freeman, I can't blame Cash. He put the team together. Mm-hmm. He gave you the pieces. At some point, we either got to fire the whole analytic department, which I'm for if that's a thing. But more than likely, they ain't going to do that. So guess what? Guess who the firing falls on?
And that's a problem. At least for me, it is.
I agree with you. But guess who the firing falls on if it's not going to be that? Boom, you got to wear this one, buddy. And I kind of hated that as soon as the game was over, right? Andy Martino of SNY comes out and reports that the Yankees are they expected to have Aaron Boone back.
Right. I did see something like that. I know what you're talking about.
And so I'm sitting there going, so you just got your asses whipped. 4 straight games. mentally outclassed, and you're gonna let this guy back, and you're not even gonna question whether that's a good idea. See, I'm believing it like this. It goes back to the conversation we would have during the watch along. If you have not checked out that watch along, go check out the watch along right now.
Right. And shout out to everybody who enjoyed that. We did get some good feedback. You know, we do appreciate that. Not only did we enjoy it, but it seems like you guys enjoyed it just as much, if not maybe even more.
But yeah, for sure. Managers are really babysitters, bro. That's what this comes down to. Well, I like him. He lets me play. Well,
what was it that I told you the other day? You said they were babysitters, and then in addition to that, I said managers today in baseball are babysitters with surveillance cameras.
And the parents in the crib.
Right.
And the parents at home. Yeah. Yeah, Aaron Boone should not have a job right now. Not to be that guy, but like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
One thing that really bothers me too, and I'm glad you let all of that out, Stefan, because we have a lot more to get into.
I'm
tonight.
sick. I'm sick. I'm trying to hold it in, but I'm physically upset. I'm annoyed. Right? Like, I'm annoyed. Like, I love the Knicks, but I should not be watching Knicks basketball against the Pistons right now.
That's right.
I should be physically getting myself mentally prepared to go through the anxiety, gymnastic-filled stress of another World Series game.
Let me say this too, because you know we had planned this behind the scenes, right? So for those of you who are watching, again, shout out to you guys. But I had told Stefan, because of course, you know, I wanted the Yankees to win 7.
We
that
both
did not happen, but the plan was for us to come on live, and the last live of the season was going to be a damn freaking celebration. I was going to come here with a champagne bottle myself, and I was going to celebrate as if I was in the clubhouse with the guys, you know?
Listen,
so for us to be here and still give you everything that we have, despite how we feel personally, listen, it is what it is at the end of the day. But one thing that I did want to get into before you say anything else, Stefan.
No, go ahead. I said too much.
A lot of chatter with Juan Soto, and now that he's officially a free agent. I mean, we all saw this coming. From the moment the Yankees acquired him, when they made the trade to get him from the Padres, we knew that this was going to happen.
Right.
And I don't know how you feel about this, Stefan, but this is genuinely how I feel deep down inside after seeing how they lost in Game 5. You know, we forget about Juan Soto for a second and learn how to properly feel the ground ball, learn how to properly feel the fly ball, learn how to take an extra base, learn how to not shit your pants when somebody's being aggressive on the bases. I mean, come on, because really ask yourself, what does bringing Juan Soto back mean when you don't even know how to do those 3 things?
If I'm going to be honest with you, Juan Soto is probably part of the problem defensively and makes his team worse on the defensive end.
Yeah.
If we're being honest, like truth serum, full on, full stop, does Juan Soto coming back make this team better?
I don't think so. No, he's definitely a player that all 30 teams would love to, and I mean absolutely love to have on the roster. But what does it really do when, 1, you had him, and then 2, as a team, you just absolutely crumbled into pieces?
Yeah.
I just don't know what to say. And I know we're not going to hear the end of it. This is just the beginning. And a lot of people are also pissed off with what he had to say during his post-game interview after Game 5. Listen, that man did everything and more when it came to being a Yankee this season. He showed up all season long, showed up all October long. No pun intended. Not trying to throw any shots to Aaron Judge. For those of you who think I'm trying to like compare the two.
Throw a shot.
Here's the thing. He deserved the right, if you were to ask me, to respond the way that he did. Could you believe a lot of people are actually bothered that he said that the door is open for all 30 teams? He's a free agent. What the hell you want him to say?
So here's can we? All right, I love this.
Go to hell if you have a problem. Sorry, but
I love this. Please keep it going. I love this. I'm gonna be honest with you. I wish more players were that transparent with their free agent process.
Right.
I wish more people telling you, yo, whoever's offering me the most money, that's where I'm going. Like, if we being honest, these players ain't playing for the love of the. Now you play for the love of the game, yes. I'm not disputing this fact, but I will say this: Juan Soto is about to make more money than he's ever made and will ever make in his entire lifetime.
As he should.
If you don't understand the significance of this young man who is 26 years old trying to get paid, I have news for you. Baseball and sports are not the thing for you. Because the first thing I said was, you know what, Juan? If the Mets offer you $600 million, go put on that Met uniform. Whoever offers you the most money, because to me, right now, at this point, I usually don't say things like this, but he's earned the right to say, yo, it's about money for me. I've been the best hitter in the sport for probably, I want to say, the last 5 years. I think you can argue it's a conversation.
Easily one of the best by far.
I think he's top 5.
Yeah, no doubt. No ifs, ands, or buts.
I don't really understand why this is a thing where people think, oh, he was wrong for addressing it when he did. Well, I guess the media was wrong for asking him the questions. If the media didn't ask him the questions, he wouldn't have gave you these answers. Now, I think it was telling. This is the one thing I will say. Not to try to read the tea leaves, because off season is my time to do my thing. All right, I'm looking forward to this. I can't wait to get started. We already had some transactions. I'm busier than a mother already. I will tell you, I thought it was telling that when he walked away from the press conference, he still had his Yankee gear on. He did not rip it off like Garrett Cole did when he was interviewed with a Porsche Corp panel. If I had to put the measuring stick out today, now this is November 1st, and we're a long way from him figuring out what he wants to do. But if you ask me today, I think he's coming back to the Yankees because I think he feels like there's unfinished business. But however, if I'm the Yankees, is that worth it for me? Because does it make me better enough to get back to where I need to be?
Right. I have a follow-up question. What does that mean? Like, obviously it means you have him again. Okay, clearly. Right. But what does that mean in totality?
So if I can answer it in two ways, right? I think this is a two-part answer that needs to be answered this way. Do you just value what he brings to you offensively and the star power and the megawatt smile and the money and the
jersey sales, right?
Jersey sales and the Dominican flag in right field and the party atmosphere and the re-signed Soto and the we love Juan. If you love all that, then cool. If you're really trying to win a championship, Anthony Santander is the guy I'm going to get. Because you know who Anthony Santander is? To me, he's Bernie Williams. Steady. Going to make every play in right field. Going to switch hit from both sides of the plate. Might put up better offensive numbers in a calendar season than Soto would. What I mean by that is his season may be more impactful than Soto's. In terms of he can throw you out on the field. He can get to most balls in the gap. He switch hits. He hits for average. He hits for power. He may not be as proficient as Soto is. But he gives you a lot more that you can say, okay, I can sink my teeth into them not paying Juan Soto in excess of $600+ million. Because if you want to know what I really think, Juan Soto is the worst free agent in this class.
Free agent?
Outside of his numbers, he's the worst defensive fielding free agent in this class.
I mean, I hear you. Okay, I understand. I think the thing is, we all know, and you and I know this too, Stephen. Every single team is going to bypass that. Now, will it eventually bite you in the ass? Of course.
Right, but you could make the argument for what he's asking for. Is it really worth the money that he's asking for? Because he's not a two-way player.
No.
At least when Ohtani asked for $700 million, he's going to pitch, he's going to hit, he's going to go 50-50. He's going to do things on the field that
you've never seen before.
Right. So when he says, yo, let me get $700 million, is worth it. Right? Like, I don't know if Soto's worth the amount of money just strictly from the standpoint of defensively. You could make the argument that he was part of the reason why the Yankees didn't win. That catch in game one that he didn't make on the double by Tommy Edman, that was who hit the double that he ran and it was by the wall. It was a line drive slice to that Mookie hit.
Yeah,
That he,
yeah. I forget which one you're talking
that
about.
he didn't catch, and it was like, bro, that could be the game, right? And I understand he's 26. He's a generational offensive talent. You do what you got to do, and I guess you kind of like suck it up. But like, is it worth it? Is it worth it? I don't know if it's worth it. If the Dodgers showed you anything, proficiency wins at this level.
Right.
Stars win, but proficiency also wins.
Yeah, having ball players, guys who are willing to do the little things. It
Yes.
goes even further than anything that a superstar could do for you, right?
Yes.
Because, you know, and you've said this before, Stefan, one thing for sure, especially during the postseason in baseball, is the superstars are not always going to shine as bright as they do during the regular season. It's just a fact. I wish I was lying when I say that, but it's one of those things where it just is what it is, right? And listen, I know it's a tough pill to swallow for Yankee fans. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. I would love to see Juan Soto wear the pinstripes for who knows how long. But you know, when you really think about it, what does bringing him back and having basically the same exact roster that you had in this season, but instead for 2025, I don't think it means much.
Honestly, I think what the Yankees should take from the Dodgers is, yo, I want to have skill positions at every one of these players. You got to build a better bench because the Yankees had no bench, and that's what kind of cost them to.
That's right. Like what, you know, that's one thing I want to get into. Like, what happened to the days of having a guy who, you know, if you call them off the bench, and I'm not saying that somebody has to get it done every single time that they're called on, but what happened with having a guy who, you know, he's reliable. You know, whether it be a base hit. Listen, I know today's game is revolved around homers on top of homers, but just a guy who's going to be willing to go the other way. You know, on the 09 team, when the Yankees last won the World Series in 2009, Brett Gardner was that guy to come off the bench and steal a base. We all remember that.
Yeah,
like,
Brett,
what happened to that?
Jerry Hairston Jr. was on that Yankee team in 09. You had a bunch of guys who were just smart baseball players, right? Like that knew their role. Like, look at what the Dodgers did, bro. Like, Kevin Kiermaier didn't get off the bench. Kevin Kiermaier is one of the top outfielders in the game. If the Yankees had a Kevin Kiermaier, I think this goes a little different defensively.
Right. And I'll tell you one thing too, man. You know, I want to give the Dodgers a whole lot of credit. I was already doing it the moment the NLCS ended when they defeated the Mets. But I want to say this again. I think the Yankees would have gotten swept if Tyler Glasnow was healthy and Shohei Ohtani was both pitching and hitting. It would have been a wrap. It would have been
the same thing.
4-zip.
Yeah, I said the same thing.
Would have been one game being played here in the Bronx. Well, two rather, because it was my mistake.
Well, here's the thing I'll tell you too. I think if you're the Yankees, you need to do one or two things. I think you need more in the starting rotation because I think Garrett Cole's days of being an ace are done. So go figure out what you're going to do in the starting rotation. And the other thing is, flat out, straight to the point, you need to figure out what you're doing defensively in that outfield, and you need to figure out what you're doing at third base. Because I like Jazz, but Jazz at third base long-term is not something that I can see them going to.
You know, one thing I want to say too, and I do agree with you, Stefan, Jazz deserves to be playing at his position, right? Which is not third base. But what I do want to say too, in addition to that, is you got Anthony Volpe, who won a Gold Glove last season, and then you got a guy in Jazz Chisholm playing out of position, played one hell of a third base. And I'm not saying that because he deserves to be there moving forward, but the fact that he made it look as easy as you're saying, Stefan, and then listen, let's be honest. That error that Volpe committed in Game 5 was not the only time we saw it in the postseason.
No, but that's on Volpe. That's why I'm saying. See, this goes back to like before the game type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Where you're like, yo, first instincts, first read, yo, I'm going to second base. I got the catcher running. I can turn to and I limit the damage. It's about limiting the damage.
Right.
Right? Like, I understand you can make the play in the hole. I understand you're an athlete. All this is true. Can you limit the damage?
And even if you don't turn two, can we at least get one?
They got none.
I mean, 1 and 2. Last time I checked, they're more than 0.
And with the catcher running, you probably turn 2.
Right.
With the catcher problem, if you turn it quick, you probably turn 2.
And I know that, I'm not trying to be easy when it comes to the Yankees because they deserve, whatever's coming their way. But, we're talking about guys who are playing at the highest level, Stephen.
You're right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
On the biggest stage of them all, the World Series.
Where everybody in their mothers watching.
I just don't get it, man. I literally just don't get it. I don't understand.
You know what? I'm going to say something that's going to piss people off.
Say it, bro, because I'm sure you've already said maybe 1 or 2 things that pissed him off. So go ahead.
That's what happens when your captain's from California and ain't a New Yorker.
Nah, this guy.
I'm gonna say it.
Right.
You out here being kumbaya, surfing with everybody because you're a Californian.
So let me ask you this, Stephen, to sort of translate that into something that, for those of you who are watching right now, could understand better. Are you saying that Aaron Judge is too soft?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it goes back to something you said, right? Like, I wish he was more rah-rah. I wish after the game he would have came out and said, yo, not only me, but the whole team, we all played like hot dog feces. Everybody. And, I just wish that there wasn't this, well, we got here, we played really hard, we did the best we could, and I love the guys that are in the room, and all that. We get it, you love the guys that are in the room, because you guys did what you were supposed to do. Like, you got where you were supposed to go.
These guys don't care, though. With the amount of money that they're making, they're laughing their way to the bank.
And this is the thing. When did just getting to the World Series as a Yankee, when is that good enough?
Mm-hmm.
When are you not sitting there beating yourself up going, you know what? If everybody yells, right? Not us, but the front office and the players themselves will say it. Yo, it's championship or bust, or the season was a failure. How can you talk like that and then put a performance on in the World Series you put on like you just playing 4 games in April? Like you don't give a goddamn.
Right.
How am I supposed to take you seriously?
What? Go ahead.
And if your captain comes in the clubhouse the other night and says, yo, the loss in this World Series is going to haunt me forever. If it's going to haunt you that deeply, Aaron, then I got news for you, bruh. Forget hitting 50 home runs in the regular season. Save about 10 of those home runs for October because you're part of the reason why they didn't win this year. In fact,
but here's the
you're
thing,
the main
though,
reason
Stephen,
why they didn't
I want to
win this
ask
series.
you this. Can he? That's the question. Can he? Because we know he can do it in the regular season, but can he save those 10 for October?
But here's the thing.
We know Stanton can.
Right.
We know Juan Soto can.
First
we damn sure know that Freddie Freeman can. Can Aaron Judge do it?
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this for future reference. There will be no Giancarlo Stanton slander on this channel for as long as I'm here as a co-host. If you slander that man, me and you will go we will go to war real quick. Like, I will fight you. This guy Giancarlo can't move, can't run, can't do nothing, and he still finds a way to impact the game more than the so-called captain did. And you supposed to sit there and let you slide? No, I'm not letting you slide, motherfucker. This is how New York media is soft, right? Because if I was in the media, I would have had you standing there for an hour. Yo, Aaron, what went wrong for you in this playoffs? What were you thinking about? What goes through your mind in the playoffs? Is it a different game? Can you handle this? Like, we have gotten so PC with the questions we ask. We don't want to hurt these players' feelings. You know what? I don't care about that. Because guess what? The fans like us and the fans on Twitter who are upset at the fact that these jerk-offs blew a chance to go to win another championship, you're treating this as if, oh, we'll just get back there next year. Do you know that for sure? Do you know that he's going to stay healthy next year to get back? Do you know Garrett Cole's going to be saying Garrett Cole? Do you know that Juan Soto says, I want to resign here for sure? You don't know that. So when I hear them talk, it's like, well, we're just gonna take opportunities for granted because we're the Yankees and we're supposed to be here. Last I checked, last time you got here was 15 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing that I do want to say,
Hold
Steph, and I
on,
wanted to
real
say
quick. I just
before.
want to get
What
this
was that?
comment up. I have to get
Yeah.
this comment up. Razor, I know you hate when I do this. I'm sorry. I apologize. This,
Yeah, A-Rod 2.0.
this right here, this.
Yeah, he's that. That's him.
What have I been yelling all postseason, Broski?
Yeah, Aaron Judge is on the verge. Well, at this point, he already is, but at the time, you were saying that he's on the verge of being just another Alex Rodriguez.
One bad postseason away from being A-Rod.
Yeah,
He's there now.
right.
He's
What
there
I
now.
what I did want to say too is, damn, I think I'm forgetting it. It was definitely in my mind that whole time while you were talking.
I'm sorry. I cut you
No,
off. My bad.
you're good. You're good. But yeah, anyway, Aaron Judge, it's baseball is one of those sports where it is pretty difficult to point the finger at just one guy. Unlike other sports such as basketball and some of the others that are out there as well. Because it really takes an entire team, right? And listen, I'm gonna be very honest with you. I don't think the Yankees look like a team at all. Not only in that game 5, but in overall. Call me crazy for saying that, but listen. Oh, it just came back to me. You were talking about Stanton. What I did want to say, I don't care if he misses 140 games, 150 games. I don't care. As long as Stanton is willing and definitely able, because I know health is a thing when it comes to Stanton. As long as he is able to suit up come October, come postseason time, I don't want to hear no slander. And I have to be honest, I am somebody who did that for a long time, for a very long time. But I think it has come to a point now where screw what he does in the regular season, screw however many games he plays, because you know what you're getting from him in the postseason.
I'm there. Both postseason Big G is they make movies out of motherfuckers like him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't listen. Nobody's gonna write this script to how dominant he's been in the play. Listen, he got more postseason home runs than Babe Ruth. Think about that. Listen, he could miss 170 games a year. I don't care. As long as when those 11 games in October come, if you could touch the field, my boy, I want to see number 27 in the line.
Yeah, that's all I care about, man.
And at that point, his regular season numbers are minute to me because I know if we get there, he's going to be the one guy that says, all right, championship time. And if I'm honest, he's the guy I feel bad for the most. Because he's dealt with the slings and arrows of the media, the fan base. Big G is soft. Big G is always hurt. Big G is this. And he's the one guy that stands up and says, yo, I didn't get the job done. I didn't do what I had to do. I had to be better for the team, for the franchise, and for the city. How can you hate that guy?
That's right.
In fact, if you could make the argument right now that Big Giancarlo Stanton should be the most applauded Yankee on this roster, you could make that argument. This October showed you, listen, if you don't think he cares, if you don't think it drives him nuts that he can't perform at the All-Star level he used to, the postseason is his chance to show you, yo, don't forget who I used to be and could still be if you play around and fuck around and find out. I'm that dude. Right?
Isn't it crazy how there are certain players such as a Juan Soto, such as a Francisco Lindor, such as a Freddie Freeman? I mean, I can go on,
bro.
right?
Yep.
I name these guys because these are guys who get it done in both the regular season and the postseason.
Yep.
And then you have guys, and I hate to bring his name up again, but it's just a fact. Aaron Judge, who just simply forgets how to play the game of baseball at the level that he is capable of playing it at.
That's crazy.
It's that simple.
Not to make this a basketball show, but I'm going to just make one basketball comp. It hit me the other day. Aaron Judge is Julius Randle.
You think so?
Yeah. Like, Julius is 25-10 in the regular season guaranteed. Gonna give it to you, right? Playoff comes. what the hell do I do? What the hell do I do? What the hell do I do? And I'm sitting there going,
it's like, yo, it's still the same game at the end of the day.
It's the same game, but here's the thing, bro. Some people look at Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson said, "Oh, it's New York City. All right, cool. I'm putting up 40 pieces in the playoffs consecutively. I'm giving y'all the work. Y'all ain't gonna tell me nothing. The only reason why we didn't make it to the conference finals because I had no damn team."
That's true.
Put Jalen Brunson in Aaron Judge's shoes, and you telling me Jalen Brunson don't win the championship for the Yankees? Listen, dog, why you think Knicks fans are dreaming about a parade? Because that 6 foot, just barely 6 foot motherfucker is a killer. He is a killer. You cannot tell me that you look at Jalen Brunson going into these playoffs this April, and you're like, yo, we got a healthy cat, we got a healthy squad. Give me that short dude over anybody else in the East you got. I know there's Joel. I know there's Paul George. You can make the argument that the Celtics' big two are the only two players you're taking over JB.
Mm-hmm.
You can make that argument. And Aaron Judge is Julius Randle. It's pretty in the playoffs. I mean, it's pretty in the regular season, but it's uglier than motherfucker in the playoffs. And here's the problem when you play ugly. You see the Dodgers? They knew it. No, we're going to pitch him inside. He can't get around on it. He's swinging for breaking balls. His swing is shot. He got no confidence. We're going to eat him alive. We're going to eat him alive.
And also, how embarrassing, too, because I did say this a few minutes ago. Let me actually say this before I get into my point. For those of you who are watching right now, shout out to you guys. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at 27outs3c. And, of course, the YouTube. If you have not already subscribed, make sure you do so right now.
Yes, please.
How embarrassing for the Yankees. Like, because, you know, I mentioned the Dodgers not having Tyler Glass now. Shohei Ohtani not being able to pitch. But in addition to that, what I do want to say, too, is how embarrassing for the Yankees to not be able to defeat a banged-up Dodgers team at that. Shohei Ohtani, midway through that series, just absolutely does. I don't know what to his shoulder, but he makes it as clear as day that something is wrong. Even when he's on the bases, the dude is running like this. Not just that, and I get it. Freddie Freeman, he said this a lot. He said, listen, those days off between the NLCS ending, leading up to Game 1 of the World Series, it helped him out. But helping him out does not mean that he was still 100%.
Talk about it. Yeah.
Meanwhile, you had the Yankees. Listen, I understand a couple of guys were banged up, but the one thing I would say is you had your guys. You had Rizzo. Rizzo, that's really it.
Rizzo's one guy. That's it. They had a healthy roster. The Dodgers were walking in with the walking wounded. Listen.
And that's my point. I don't, because it all goes back to this, Stefan. You made it very clear, and so have many others, including myself. The Yankees and the Dodgers, they deserved to be playing each other in the World Series.
Yeah,
a lot of people thought it was going to be evenly matched. And that was with the Dodgers missing out on some of those key players that they didn't have. And the Yankees still shitted on themselves.
And you know what it is? You know what's the most painful thing? And you know what's the most irritating thing? We're gonna leave this because I want to go somewhere outside of this. If you have more thoughts, please share them. You know what we're going to hear in like a couple days, right? They're all going to go through press conferences at Yankee Stadium. They're all going to pack their shit. And they're all going to say, yo, we were close. We got there. If we just clean up these few different things, we'll be right back there. You know what frustrates me? I care. Because I have to do this show. So we have to hear your bullshit coming from the New York market, which we live in, when you tell us you piss on our forehead and you tell us it's raining.
Well, that's the only reason why I would care. But other than that, being a Yankee fan, I don't give a damn what any of these guys have to say, bro. I just don't. But for the sake of the show, of course.
I think the thing that bothers me is that you're going to hear them all say, oh, we're devastated, we're heartbroken, we should have done more. We could have done more. I didn't sleep.
Yeah, with 30 M's in the bank.
I couldn't sleep for 4 days. I'm miserable. my wife is this and all that. Yo, dog. At the end of the day, when you had a chance to do it on the field, you pulled your pants down and you let a big turd loose in the middle of the series on national television.
And here's the thing. Here's why I don't care why they have to say, Stephen. Freddie Freeman and Shohei Ohtani had two of the most difficult years that an athlete could have, period, off the field. We all know what happened with Shohei Ohtani to begin the season.
By the way, that Freddie Freeman story is really, really, like, we need to talk more about that. Like, his son almost died.
Right.
His son almost died. He almost
and that's the
his
reason
son.
for me bringing this up, because, I mean, listen, I don't know what's going on in everyone's life, but certainly certain things matter way more than others.
I agree.
Shohei Ohtani had his best friend, I guess, Dick Steele. Freddie Freeman and his son. Yet, like, come on, like, what is Aaron Judge dealing with off the field? Not that I know, but I'm just, if I had to ask, what are you dealing with off the field that is even close to what Shohei Ohtani and Freeman had to deal with?
I will.
You know what the answer is without even knowing?
No,
probably nothing.
No, I
don't give him no excuses. Don't.
No,
bro.
But I'm not.
No, give it to him raw.
I'm not
giving it to him raw, bro.
Okay, I get that part, but here's the thing, right? They had things that they're dealing with. Now, I know Aaron Judge is dealing with something that's a personal matter, which I'm not going to divulge, because that's not my business to divulge it. I was told this in confidence by a source who I trust. I think I told you what it was, but I'm not going to do it on the airways because I don't think it's...
I don't know.
I did tell you.
We'll talk off the end, though.
I told you and Reza about it, that one, about, like, when I spoke to y'all, but whether or not that's true, this is your escape. This is your getaway from all that. You would think going to the field every day is the thing that gets you away from all the stresses of life. You would think, yo, I get to play a game. My family's somewhat healthy. My financial situation is secure. Let me go out here and try to win this World Series. Because here's the thing. If you win a World Series, you don't got to pay for a meal in New York ever again.
That's right.
You don't gotta you don't gotta pay for a drink. You don't
go
gotta pay
anywhere,
for a meal.
they're already gonna know who you are.
Anywhere you want. Like, if the Knicks were in the finals, guess who's sitting courtside with Spike for free? Judge is getting more love than the Knicks probably get. He's getting love. We could have had a conversation in the city of, yo, who are the most important players in New York right now? Is it Judge or is it Jalen? Judge, you took yourself right out of the conversation. The only one that's standing at the table right now, who's the king of New York, is Jalen Brunson. And it's not close.
Who, and I know this is not a basketball show, but it's funny you say that because my boy Andy, who's watching right now, he probably knows about this. We have a chat ourselves. And I said that Jalen Brunson, you know, he's the guy. I agree right now in New York, but he does have to get out of the second round this season.
He does. And
I'll leave it at that. But if you got anything else to say, go ahead.
I'm not arguing that. But what I will say is, I think when you put certain players in certain situations, you kind of tell who those players are, right? Like, I kind of think Judge let it go because the pressure was off. Yo, we're down 3-1. If we lose one more game, the season's over. So I might as well play loose and free because I'm getting eliminated.
Let me ask you this. Is it safe to say, because I think it is, and not just you, Stephen, but those of you who are watching right now, please comment below and let me know how you feel about what I'm about to get into. Is it safe to say that Aaron Judge wasn't genuinely himself until that Game 5 of the World Series?
I think that's fair. I think the last swing he took in Game 4,
because I know he had moments throughout the postseason.
Nah, but see the thing.
But to really sit down and break down an Aaron Judge type game, that Game 5 is what we saw all season long.
But that Game 5, you know why Game 5 was his coming out party? Because
less pressure.
There's less pressure. Nobody expects us to win. So let me go out here and ball out. See, the problem is it's only going to get ratcheted up the more you don't make the series and the more you don't win. You know how you know that? Because it only gets harder from here. Look at the Phillies. Look at Bryce Harper. Look at them struggling to get to the series. You don't think they felt the pressure of knowing, damn, Another year down the toilet, we can't get there. You know what
After
I'm saying?
being what many thought were going to be the favorites in the National League, at least during the first half of the season, to be World Series bound and win the NL pennant. I think I was one of those people who I would say during like the first 2 to 3 months of the year, I was like, oh, yeah, the Phillies, they're on a mission to the World Series and they're not going to stop until they get to that point. And then the second half came and they looked like a completely different team.
Yeah, and that's because that's when the pressure starts. Yo, can we do this? Can we get there again? Right? And I guess I'll end my portion of it with this.
Yeah. Enough with the World Series. Let's get into what the show was like and all that. But go ahead.
I had a blast doing this fucking season, man. I watched way more baseball than I should have. Listen,
As we should.
No, but I'm saying like I didn't dedicate this much time to like I watched a lot beforehand, you know that, but you know it's different when you're sitting here and it's August, the middle of August, and you're watching Giants D-backs because you want to see if the D-backs find a way to get themselves to the next level. Like that's where it's like, yo, I'm obsessed with this. This is a different level of love. It's not the same thing. Like you find yourself watching KC Detroit in the middle of September because you're like, can the Tigers make this run? Can they finish this off? Can they do this? And you're invested like it's your own team. Mm-hmm. And you're sitting there going, yo, 27 outs when we record this next week is going to be a movie because we get to talk about the Tigers literally murdering everybody in the month of September. It's fun when you literally get to sit here and talk about, yo, what does it look like for the Astros? You know, now is the dynasty done?
Right. Like, is it over? Mm-hmm.
You get to sit here and talk about, and I'm going to make a point right now. 2025 is right around the corner. I got a team to watch already, and you're going to be like, huh? The team for me to watch in 2025 is the Tampa Bay Rays.
Really?
The Tampa
Why?
Bay Rays will make the playoffs next season.
Well, that's no surprise, but I thought you were going to go somewhere else.
No, but I have a reason for that. To me, the Tampa Bay Rays are the best. They have the best farm system in baseball. Mm-hmm. And if you hit on 2 or 3 of those kids, because you know how it is now, bro. You see kids in the big leagues by 19, 20, 21. You know what I'm saying?
And they usually do hit on players.
Right. So by the time we get to, I want to say June, July, if the pitching is up to snuff, I think they're going to be good. And I think not playing in Tampa is going to help them. As sick as it sounds, yo, Tampa's the home. They're used to playing in their own beds. I wonder if getting away from Tropicana Field unlocks something deeper in that team and says, yo, let's go for it.
Where are they going? For those who are watching right now and don't know, where are they going?
If I had
Has it been announced yet or no?
No, but if I had to guess. See, this is the chance for Montreal to come and say, yo, y'all don't even got a stadium. Can we just have this franchise?
The please? Montreal Rays.
Can we just turn y'all into the Expos? Like, nobody remembers the Rays anyway. Can we just turn y'all into the Expos?
I remember the Expos, yeah.
No, but I'm saying they don't have a stadium to go to. Like, I understand you're trying to build a stadium in Tampa, but, like, baseball doesn't work in Florida. But that's for another show for another time.
Right.
My lasting memory for the show is this. I got to do a show about my favorite sport with 2 of the most thought-provoking, brutally honest, at times motivating people that I've ever met in my life. See, because when your phone goes off at about 8:30 in the morning and it's Ivan with a question about, yo, I was sitting there thinking about this for the show in a couple days. What do you think if we did this? And right, you gotta wipe the cobwebs out your eyes because it's about 8:30 and I'm not fully functional because I went to bed 2:30 the night before because I'm watching West Coast games more than I should be, and I'm like, let me process what he just said to me. And then after you process it, you go, that's a smart man. That I didn't even think about it from that angle. Now that he mentioned it, let's do this way. Right? When you got somebody that's pushing you, like see, Razor, I'm gonna blow you up, brother.
Yeah, you have to, bro. You have to.
When you got
we
somebody,
know you don't like to be seen, but you never said we
when
can't talk about you.
when you got somebody like Razor who says to us, "Yo, we got some content we got to figure out. I got an idea for content. I want this. I think you guys should do this way." And I'm gonna tell you, I think Razor hit 1,000 this year because the content ideas he gave us, they kind of hit on they kind of hit. So we wouldn't be as good as we are, and this channel wouldn't be as good as it is without him.
We
So
wouldn't look as
Razor.
good as we look without Razor.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, Razor. We had to put you guys on blast. I had fun doing this shit.
For sure.
And the one thing I will say is baseball is the one sport that like I love more than any other. Like I love baseball. Like I
Same.
like the other sports. The NBA is cool. When the Giants are good, I watch football. I don't pay attention enough to hockey to even care. But like, do you know how sad I am that there's no baseball games until like February?
I said it, bro.
sick.
I said it the other day when we did the watch along.
I'm sick in the face.
Well, I don't know, not the watch along. When we did our World Series preview video, I think I started it off with I think I was happy and sad at the time.
Oh my god!
Because the World Series like is the end. No matter how you put it, no matter how many games it takes for it to end, you know, it's it.
Yeah, and to know that we got through a full season, man. That's an incredible thought.
Yeah, and one thing that I shared with you earlier today, Stefan, and again, one last time before we wrap up in just a few minutes, make sure you follow us on Instagram at 27outs3C and the YouTube channel. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, definitely subscribe on whatever content you want to show love on. It could be this. It could be a short video.
Sure.
It could be something that is not a live video and just a long form video. I mean, we've been doing it all, especially this October. So make sure you guys go ahead and do that, because the one thing that I have felt, and I told Stefan this earlier today, I don't know if you feel the same way, Stefan, and Rick, leave a comment or maybe, tell us aside, but this October, man, and I don't know, maybe because it was the end of the season and just knowing that there really isn't nothing left to cover, even though we're going to be here come off season time, but it was like you guys really supported us in every way imaginable. I mean, on Instagram, when we did those post-game shows, we started doing the shorts, that watch along. I mentioned it earlier in tonight's video, but a lot of you guys were really rocking with that. Yep. But the other thing I want to say too is, and I said this to Stefan earlier today, I had told you I have never watched as many baseball games as I have in 2024. Like if I have, I certainly can't remember, because this year is the year that stands out more than others.
No, it's crazy. You find yourself reading everything. You find yourself like on Twitter. Like I'm on Twitter abnormally anyway, but I'm on Twitter even more now. Like listen, man, I love it. But I tell you one thing, if I'm being honest, I'm tired as hell. So forgive us if we go on a 2-week hiatus where you don't see nothing from me or this dude. Now, if there is something in the off season that comes out, we will post it on the Instagram. You will see it there, but we're gonna put the mic down for a little while. We're gonna recharge the batteries. Listen, I love this shit, but I'll be lying to you if I didn't tell you I was mentally exhausted. That's truth here. I'm tired.
I hear you. I hear you. And the thing is, too, we already have a lot of things in store for the off season. Of course, we're going to be covering the things that you guys are going to be getting notifications of when it comes to this guy signing and Juan Soto and Corbin Burns and all of these other guys who are free agents. But we also have some of our own ideas in terms of what we want to do that, of course, still relate to baseball, but perhaps, maybe just knowing a bit more about us, right? And knowing, like, how long we've been watching baseball, our relationship, stay tuned for that in the near future. Man. So there's definitely a lot in store. We don't want you guys to act like this live video is the end. I know it could feel like it, especially when you know that the regular season and the postseason has come to a finale. Like this is it. This is the end. But
Nah,
it's not the end for 27 outs.
nah. In fact, I would say this is only the beginning because when the off season comes, is game time for me. I like I start calling people early. We were hitting the IG with signings before baseball was uploading their pages. We was out here, so stay with us, stick with us, and you know, this off season should be fun, and then we get to do this all again in 2025. But
That's
for
right.
now, we ain't got before
No,
you go.
not yet, not yet, not yet. Comments, bro. Comments. We gotta.
All
We
right,
gotta.
cool.
We have to show love one last time, bro.
Cool,
The
cool,
comments.
cool. All right, let's get to this, man.
I don't know where you want to start. We got a good amount here.
We got a shit ton. Razor says the Yankees have too much MIT graduates and not enough Ron Washington. Clearly, they couldn't care less about fundamentals.
That's right. They care too much about what the numbers say.
Dodgers 25 runs, Yankees 24. So the Dodgers outscored the Yankees by 1 run. Wow. You guys made this season fun to follow along with. Really enjoying the coverage.
Yo, thank you, Chad. I appreciate it.
We should be collectively watching Game 6.
Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna say this before we get into the next comment. Stefan, didn't we agree when we did the watch along a couple days ago? We had said it live that we were going to come back today for Game 6.
Nah,
if there was going to be one to do another watch along. But
if I'm honest, like if there's a Game 7, I think we'd have had to think about it because that'd have been the last game of the year.
Right. What is it that John Sterling says to Susan? He says that's baseball, Susan.
Yep.
He's right, man. The way the Yankee season ended, that's baseball.
Yep. Yeah, it really is.
Shout out to John Sterling too, man. We're not gonna actually hear him on the airwaves anymore.
This is it. John officially announced his retirement. He's done. That was fun. I think the Yankees front office needs and some ayahuasca. Razor is wild. The whole organization is soft. It's not just the man.
I agree.
Organization behind the pinstripes. Hal ain't built for this ownership thing. Interesting. Judge said the same thing. So I got that. Maybe, but it's a little different. One ain't gonna give the Yankees a hometown discount. At least I don't think so.
Right.
So they're trying to get the bag. He told her during the season, y'all want me? Tell Cash.
That's right. And one more thing I want to say too about Juan Soto. Can we remember where he comes from? Like, no shade to any Dominicans. I myself am half Dominican, but he comes from the Dominican Republic, man. And he deserves every single penny, not dollar, but every single penny that is coming his way. Rightfully so.
Talk about it, bro. Razor says Soto fits the Mets long term, can convert. Oh, that's an interesting thought. I don't hate it. The fact that there was no team put grounded towards the Dodgers is crazy. Freeman would have mentioned.
That's a great point, Rick. Like, what happened to people maybe like just wanting to pick on the guy who they know is dealing with something? How about laying the bunt down the first base line and having Freddie Freeman actually
try to field his position? Yeah, bro.
You know what? I'm saying too much, bro. That's why. It's too much. I have to shut up.
Listen, we're gonna have a video this offseason about fundamental baseball. I'm sorry, but it has to be done.
Yeah.
Because that shit drove me crazy. The closest thing we've come to rah-rah is Jazz. But even Jazz's rah-rah is a little bit, I don't like that. Could easily be another 15 years with no serious opinion. These players take it for...
You're right. And here's the thing. Stefan mentioned it earlier, that whole World Series of busting. If you are somebody who is breathing the same air that I am breathing right now as I speak, can we stop saying that? This is not the same Yankees. This is not they don't have the same person running this team as the team that you fell in love with 30 years ago.
And you can make the argument baseball's not the same sport.
No,
the game's changed. The days of dynasties are done, except for the Astros, who continue to win. But Rick says Lindor's a real captain in NYC right now. Doesn't even want. Oh, wow. Or Joe's defeat.
Nah, that's a great way to put it, Chad. Shout out to you, bro. That's funny.
That's funny. Well, we got Yankees then without talk about it.
Exactly.
It's diabolical.
Yo, I don't think you were wrong. I don't think
think so either. That's why they got rid of his ass too.
Feel free to compare him, Aaron Judge in the postseason to whoever you want.
Yankees didn't even have a Jalen. Even Jazz ain't like that. The Yankees passed up on one dude that could have been the Jalen, Bryce Harper. Shit.
Yeah, a lot of people still talk about that. That's the one guy who the Yankees could have had and missed out on.
Bryce was begging to be a Yankee. Remember that time he came to Yankee Stadium, shaved his beard? He was basically telling you, yo, fit me for pinstripes, bro. I want to be here. I'm surprised the Yankees didn't. You know what? That's coming, bro. That's coming. If you don't think it's coming, you ain't paying attention. Razor says, I disagree with the Yankees belong in the series. Had two NL teams are better than the Yankees. The Yankees are the best team in the AL, but the AL's trash this year. You could make that point.
True.
You could make that point. Referring to after the All-Star break, no one looked like champions. You know what? You can make that point too.
You know who made a great point? You probably heard this, Stefan. Kike Hernandez said that the Dodgers, when they played the Padres, they arguably had to defeat one of the best teams in baseball. Then they went on to defeat the hottest team in baseball in the Mets. So if you really think about it, they were better equipped come World Series time. Unlike the Yankees, who played two teams that, I know no disrespect to anybody from Kansas City or from Cleveland, but the Yankees had to play two teams that weren't really in their league. And I don't say that in a good way.
Well, here's what I'll say. Chad, yes, we're going to adjust the winter meetings. If you know anything about me, you know I live for that time of year.
Yeah, man, we're here. We're here for sure.
We're going to be here. The one thing I will say to address that point, and we're leaving now, I promise, is remember what I said, the Yankees should only run into adversity when they get to the series. Other than that, it should be breezy. Look at what happened. They ran into adversity because they ran into a team that was better than them, and the team told them, yo, sit down. You punching above your weight.
Right.
You punching above your weight. Speaking of punching above our weight.
Right, and with that,
we ain't got to go home, but we got to get the hell up out of here.
That's right. Shout out to everybody who tuned in, not only to this live video tonight, but everything that we have put out in terms of content for the 2024 season, man. Thank you so much.
I had a blast. He had a blast. Everybody stay healthy. Stay happy.
Stay warm. That cold weather's around the corner.
It's about to be bricking in the mother. I'm already ready. Got the hoodie on. Listen, man, this was fun. I had a blast. I'm glad we did it one last time for 2024. And we'll see you guys in a couple weeks because I have a funny feeling the offseason is about to get bonkers. All right, so we'll recap all the trades, all the signings thus far, and we'll also, play a little hypothetical game of which guys go where. So join us for all that frivolity and more. But for now, we out. Peace.